There have been, though, an uptick in attacks against the U.S. military overseas. In Syria, at least 2 drones targeted American forces yesterday. That is according to 2 defense officials. 2 defense officials also say the USS Carney has shot down more than a dozen drones that were threatening the ship. As of yesterday, the ship was transitioning through the Suez Canal. Joining us, NBC News Pentagon correspondent Courtney Kube. So, Courtney, what is the latest on this?
Yeah, there's really been an uptick in these drone attacks in that region, Katie. We started hearing about them yesterday from U.S. Central Command when they told us about an attack in northern Iraq that the U.S. forces shot down. That was 1 drone. And then 2 in western Iraq. 2 drones targeted al-Assad, an air base where U.S. military operate. One of them was shot down. The other one was shot at, but as it fell to the ground, it broke up into pieces, and some of those pieces hit a hangar, and some U.S. forces were injured inside. Well, then we just learned today about 2 more drones that attacked a U.S. military garrison in southern Syria known as Atanf. In the same case, one of those drones was shot down, but another one was not. It targeted and landed, hitting the base. Several U.S. military were injured. And then, of course, now we're also learning just moments ago some new details about a U.S. destroyer that was in the Middle East, in that region, when it was targeted by a number of drones. U.S. officials telling us that they shot down many of those drones. But this is a real uptick from what we have been hearing in recent weeks and months about activities from what are expected at this point. The U.S. is still analyzing, investigating these incidents. But at this point, they are pointing towards Iranian-backed militias being behind these drone attacks, Katie.
What is the concern among those at the Pentagon that not just a second front is going to open up, but potentially a third front on the Syria border with Israel?
There is a lot of concern. So right now, the concern, as you said, is that it's going to open up another front. This war that's right now is in Israel and Gaza, spreads outside those borders into the regions. And one of the things we've been hearing about for basically since the attack in Israel almost 2 weeks ago is concern among U.S. military officials that one of the ways that it could spread, that it could manifest, is attacks by these Iranian-backed militias in other areas outside of Israel. They were talking about Iraq, talking about Syria. I'm not saying this is the beginning of some big campaign, but for now, it's been an uptick in what we have seen in recent months in this sort of activity, Katie.